Okay. Um, okay, guys. Okay, we're gonna start. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Okay. Okay, so today we will be looking at how we can classify information as true, false, or not given. So you need to mark one of the questions in the IELTS exam is to mark some statements as true, false, or not given. And many students have problems with this type of question. Actually, because they don't understand the meaning of true, what true is, what false is, and what not given is, because the confusion is between false and not given. Okay, so this is why here you can see the student, he is very confused and he doesn't know which answer he should choose. In order to do this type of activity, so we're gonna make use of scanning and in-depth reading. Now, sometimes I say in-depth reading, sometimes I say intensive reading, sometimes focused reading, sometimes narrow reading. So, okay, so all these concepts or all these names, they mean the same concept, no difference between them. So do not get confused. Okay. Now, as usual, so we're going to preview the previous learning. I think last time we dealt with reading comprehension. It was, yeah, we were doing scanning and in-depth reading. And the question was filling out, I think,
Speaking.
no. That was yesterday, but I'm talking about the reading. So I connect reading lessons with reading, okay, not with the speaking. Yesterday we did speaking, but this is about the reading, guys, okay? So because I think last time what we did was, filling a flow chart. That's what, as far as I remember. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now, the previous learning will be about reading, but not about listening. Okay, so I think you have 5 questions. So in reading, the words or phrases, furthermore, consequently, because, for instance, they are referred to as what? These words, conjunctions, synonyms, signposting language, or semantic field. These words, furthermore, consequently, because, for instance, I mean, when they appear in a reading comprehension text, you have these words dotted out throughout, the passage. What do we call them? Conjunctions, synonyms, signposting language, semantic field. Oh my God. Yeah, this is signposting language. So these are signposts. Whenever you come across them, it means that the writer wants to take you somewhere, guys. Okay. So, and these are the words that will help you navigate through a reading passage. They are very important. Now, furthermore, what does it indicate? What does it signal? If you see the word furthermore, what does this mean?
Additional information.
Excellent. So it means that the writer is going to give me some additional information. Now, if you say consequently, or as a result, thus, hence, therefore, it means that the writer is going to signal result. Okay?
Result.
Yeah. And if you say because, if the writer says because,
For show the result.
yeah, so he's going to give you a reason. And if he says, or if they say, for instance,
For example.
yeah, they're going to give you an example. Okay, now we call these signpost words. They are very important when reading. Many students do not pay attention to them. And I told you this is the only way, okay, available for you to navigate easily through a reading passage, because there is an idea. So maybe the writer wants to expand this idea. So they can say, furthermore, in addition to that, besides, what's more, consequently, maybe they're going to signal a result because they're going to give me a reason. And for instance, they're going to give me an example. So this is why these words are very important. So we refer to them as signposting language. Is this clear, guys?
شو هم الconjunction؟ نسيتهم.
Come again?
What about conjunction words?
No, conjunctions, they are linking words, linking
Ah,
words. Now,
and
when you are
foray.
writing, yeah, I will tell you. So furthermore is not a conjunction. Consequently is not a conjunction. Because is a conjunction. But we say conjunction, or we refer to them as conjunction when we are writing. But when we are reading, they become, you know, signpost words. Is it clear?
Yes.
It depends from which perspective you're looking at things. Now, if you are writing, I will tell you, well, use conjunctions. Now, like because, although, while, these are conjunctions, but, you know, we have two types of conjunctions. Coordinated conjunctions, the fanboys, 7 of them, and we have subordinated conjunctions. So like while, after, before. Okay, but when you are reading, you should not look at them as conjunctions, but you should look at them as signpost words. Now, they tell you, these words tell you where the writer wants to take you, okay? And they can help you follow the ideas presented by the writer. Okay. Hassan, way to go. Rama. Okay, great. Question number 2. So this is a multi-select question. You need, it is a double score question. You have to select more than one answer. Writers support their claims with. They support their opinion with what? You have to choose 2 things, I guess. Emotional evidence, factual evidence, expert opinion, valid reasons. I think you have to choose three of them. There's only one which is incorrect.
سويت submit بس حق 2.
Okay, no problem. You have to choose 3 of them. So I think you will get a partial grade.
I will add green with them.
Green, yeah, so green is correct. Guys, I've given you 1 minute, so do not rush into the answers. Take your time, think about the question, and think about the options you will choose. Okay. Now, of course, emotional evidence, okay, this is nothing. This is not valid, okay? But for this one, the factual evidence, these are facts, and you can prop up your claims with the facts. Now, this is what you call the art of argumentation. When you want to give an argument, the argument should have 2 things. It is the conclusion, which is the claim. For example, I would say, Khawla is a good woman. Well, that's a claim. Well, that's a conclusion. And in order for this claim to be valid, well, I need to prop it up or support it with some evidence. Okay, so it could be factual evidence. For example, well, I said this because Khawla does this and this and this. These are facts. Okay, and expert opinion. If there is a claim, you can support the claim. If there is a claim about, let's say, smoking kills, you will find this, you know, on cigarette packets, smoking kills. Okay, now this is a claim, or that's what you call the art of argumentation. That's what you call a conclusion. For this conclusion to be valid, it has to be supported by some factual evidence like statistics. Now, people who died because of smoking, or the expert opinions, the opinion of the doctors. Now, what doctors say about this issue? Well, that's valid. And valid reasons. So, which are cogent reasons?
Doctor, excuse me. Can we consider the writer point of view as emotional evidence or?
No, emotional evidence. For example, I would say Huda is a good woman, and I would say, you know, Hababa. No, this is not. You should give some facts. Is it clear?
Okay.
For example, sometimes you don't like something. And this is not based on factual evidence. It's only emotional. Well, this is the way you think. But there is no evidence that supports your opinion. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes you don't like one person. We don't like them for no reason. Is it clear? So if you say, why don't you like this person? You would say, oh, well, I don't like him. That's it. Okay, I have no reason. Now, emotional evidence, it is the opposite of factual evidence. Can you see the picture now? Did you get it?
Yeah, I guess it's
Okay,
now.
good.
Okay.
Great. Hassan, 3,083. Rama, 2,581. Khawla, 1,740. And Thamer, 1,222. Abdurrahman, 0. Huda, I cannot see you. Where are you? Okay. Maybe you did not score any points. Okay, no problem. Now, which of the following classification of reading skills is also called reading in detail? So reading in detail could be referred to as what? Is it extensive reading, intensive, in-depth, narrow, scanning, or skimming? Now we're talking about reading in detail, which is, detailed reading. And the picture can help you. Okay, great. So four of you have got it. This is what you call intensive reading, narrow reading, or in-depth reading, or detailed reading. So they are all the same. But it's not scanning. So because when we are scanning, we do not look for details, but we look for words that stand out. And it's not skimming, because when we're skimming, normally we attend to, the gist or the main idea, but not to details. Okay, way to go, Hassan. So you have 3 correct answers in a row. So this is really excellent. Rama, way to go. Khawla, good. Thamer, Ahsant. Huda, she pops up now. Okay, good. Now I think this is the maybe the last question. I'm not sure. So reading is done quickly and allows the reader to gather information is called. Now, what do you call a type of reading which is done quickly in order to get, the main idea? Is it intensive, in-depth, narrow, scanning, popcorn reading, or skimming? Good, very good. Okay. Of course, here, if you read it quickly, now that's what you, in order to get some information, so it means that you're reading for a purpose to get the main idea of a reading passage. Well, that's what you call skimming. Intensive reading, no. Scanning, no. I said that scanning is not reading. It's simply running your eyes over a chunk of a text just to get, just to find what you call the words that stand out, the keywords. And popcorn reading, well, that's a strategy. For example, I will give you a paragraph in which there are 6 sentences, and each student will read 1 sentence. For example, Huda will start reading. When she finishes the sentence, she will assign another student. She would say, okay, Khawla, go on. Khawla will read, it's like the popcorn, pop, pop, okay? But it's not a skill. Okay, cool. Hassan is still number 1. Okay, this is the last question. Now, what concept is used for expressing something spoken or written in other words? Now, if you have an idea and you express this idea in other words, is it skimming, scanning, paraphrasing, or quoting? Okay, good. We have 5 students who have answered the question. Yeah, that's what we call paraphrasing. And paraphrasing is a skill which is really very important. And you need this skill badly when you're doing your IELTS exam. So whether you're doing the speaking task, yesterday we talked about this, you need to paraphrase the question. Do not repeat the same words. And when you are doing writing, the same thing, you need to paraphrase the question. And when you are reading, you need to identify paraphrase information, and the same thing applies to listening. While you're listening, the same thing, you need to be able to identify paraphrased expressions. Okay, good. Now, these are called reading concepts, and you need to be familiar with them. Okay, Hassan, way to go. Good. Now, self-assessment, you try to assess yourself. Now, these are the concepts. Now, where do you fit? Was this easy? Well, I need a little more help, or that was hard. Okay, now this one is in between. I don't know. هذا زي جماعة الأعراف، لا في الجنة لا في النار، في النص. Right, okay. Cool. Okay, most of you guys, so they found the task easy, and it's okay. And we have and some of you, only 2 of you, so they need a little more help. Okay, what are we going to do today? Now, these are the learning objectives. So we're going to classify some statements into 3 categories. So it's either true or false or not given. And the second thing, we're going to demonstrate the ability to support your classifications with evidence from, so you will tell me, well, it's a true. And number 2, what do you need to do? You need to give me some textual evidence. Now, textual evidence, it is evidence from the text that supports your answer. So you should not choose, true, false, not given randomly. No, if you choose something, you have to tell me why, and that's what we are going to do today, inshallah. And once you acquire the skill, you will feel very confident on test day. Are the objectives clear, guys? Do you understand them?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're going to move on. Now, as usual, guys, so because I know that you have some background knowledge, so maybe some of you sat for the test before, so we're going to check your background information about this type of question, which is true, false, not, this is not given. So simply because I'm doing things quickly, so I do not go over what I have written to proofread it for mistakes. Now, this is the T, huh? So not given. Okay. Now, we mark a statement as a true when. When do we mark a statement as a true? We have 4 options here. There is no information on this. It contradicts. It is the opposite. It means it's the opposite of the information in the text. Or it agrees. It is the same with the information in the text, or it agrees with what we already know. It means that there is no information in the text, but I already know something about it, so I will mark it as true. So which one is correct? MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Okay, very good. So if you find in a text, okay, now the exact paraphrase of the information in the statement, so you find the exact paraphrase of the information in the statement, you should mark it as true. But if you know that something is true and there is no information in the text, you should mark it as not given. So here, you should always base your answer on the text. It is not on what you already know. If something is clearly stated, and I repeat, clearly stated in the paragraph, okay, or in the text, you should go for it. If something is not stated, okay, you should never go for it. Okay, great. So still Hassan is leading the leaderboard. Now we mark a statement as false when there is no information on this. It contradicts. Now we have something which is the opposite. the information, or it agrees the same information, or it agrees with what we already know. Yeah, great. Now, if it contradicts, so it is false. Okay, great. Now everyone has answered correctly, and now I can see that Abdurrahman is gone up. This is good. We move on. We mark a statement as not given when there is no information on this. It contradicts the information in the text. It agrees with the information in the text, or it agrees with what we already know. When do we mark it as not given? Excellent, guys. Very good. Okay. Now, this is very important. You should know what true means, what the other one, which is false, means, and what not given means. This is the first thing that you need to learn. Okay, great. Now, mark the following statements as a true, false, or not given, and we're going to do some practice. Okay, now you know what false means, what true means, and what not given means. So I'm going to check. So we're going to do a little practice so to see whether you can answer the questions or not. Now, Truden was the smartest dinosaur ever. Okay, now this is the text. One of the most intelligent dinosaurs was Truden. It was a hunting dinosaur about 2 meters long and had a brain size similar to that of a mammal or bird of today, stereoscopic vision, and grasping hands. Now, the statement is Truden was the smartest dinosaur ever. How would you mark this statement? True, false, not given, do not choose me. This is wrong, guys, okay? So because I have only 3 now, I write anything here. True. Oh my God. There is nothing in the text that supports this. What I said, Truden is one of the most intelligent. One of the most intelligent. Now, the truth is that Truden was intelligent, but we don't have any statement that supports that this animal was the most intelligent. We don't have this. Now, if I say Khawla is one of the smartest students in this class, does this mean that Khawla is the smartest?
Yes.
Wallah. Now I said, I repeat this. I repeat this. Now you need to think about the statement, guys. Khawla is one of the smartest students in my class. Now, does this mean that Khawla is the only smartest or the only smartest student in my class?
No.
No, no. There is a big difference. So one of the, it doesn't mean he is the only one. Okay? So here we have Truden was the smartest. No, in the text we have one of the most intelligent dinosaurs. So it doesn't mean we don't, okay, it is smart, but we don't have enough information to say that, well, it is the smartest. No, we don't have this. Now, this information is not given. There's only one student who answered this. Now, for these types of statement, you have to think, but do not overthink the statement. Now, if I say he is one of the richest people in the UAE, one of the richest. Now, have I said that he is the richest person in the UAE? No, no. So be careful. So this is how they trick you. So you have to be careful, guys. There's only one student, and it's Hassan. Excellent. Ahsan, Hassan. Now, Truden fed on other animals. Now, these questions are in the right order. So this is number 1. Statement number 1 was about this. So, and then you need, they follow the same order. The questions follow the same order of the reading passage. Now, it was a hunting dinosaur about 2 meters long and had a brain a brain size similar to that of a mammal or bird of today, stereoscopic vision and grasping hands. So the information is in the middle, but you need to make a decision whether this is true or false or not given. Okay, yeah. So three of you have answered the question correctly. Now here we have the information is that, okay, they hunt. Okay, hunting is the act of pursuing an animal or whatever and kill this animal. Now this is what they call hunting. Okay, now this is why it fed on other animals because of the word hunting. There is no difference between feed on other animals and hunting. Well, they hunt them for food. Okay, now this is why it is a true statement. Now, for those who said false, what is your reason? Why did you say false? Why is it false, guys? You should come up with a reason. I told you that today's objective is, to classify information as true, false, not given, and to provide me with textual evidence that will support your answer. So I think here your answer is not. If you say false, you don't have any support. So you have to find the opposite information. For example, well, it used to eat maybe grass or maybe leaves of trees. No, we don't have this. We have the word hunt. Okay, so it's a carnivore. Carnivore, it means it eats meat. Okay, or it feeds on meat. Okay, Khawla Ahsanti and Hassan. And there's another one, so I didn't see the scores. Now, a rodent's brain, we're talking about the brain here, was as big as a human's. We're talking about the brain. Do we have any information in the text that supports that the rodent's brain was as big as a human's, or we have the opposite, or there's no information about this?
يعتبر opposite صح؟
Why? Okay, yes. So if the information is contradicted, so it means you have to go for the opposite.
لأن هني مكتوب it is written similar to the mammal.
Yes, here to a bird. You see the bird?
Yeah.
Now, here, for example, we know that birds, okay, they have a smaller brain than human beings. We know that human beings have the largest brain on earth. Is it clear?
البيرز عندهم أكثر منه.
Wallah.
كيف؟
No, I said the human beings have the largest brain on earth.
Okay.
And this is why they are the smartest, creatures on earth. So it is the human, okay, but not birds, okay? So this is false because the text contradicts this. Okay, great. Now, we talked about true, false, not given. Now, how confident do you feel about classifying statements as true, false, not given, so that we can start the lesson? Drop the pin. Look at the faces. So this is cool. This is so, and this is no. This is very difficult. Okay, I don't know who this person is. They always drop the pin in the middle. Okay. My goodness. Who is this? Okay. Now, anyways, three of you guys, so they are in the middle. Okay. They do not feel that confident. And the two of you feel very confident. And Alhamdulillah, we have no one who feels not confident. Okay, good. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to study. So let's give it a shot. It means let's give it a try. Let's try reading practice. Now, after the reading, normally you should tell the difference between, or you should be able to classify a statement as true, false, or not given. Now, here we have a text. This is from your IELTS book. So it's going digital. And we have a picture here. This is the picture. Okay. And then we have the subheading, electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison, but building them will not be easy. Now here you have the title, you have the picture, and I told you that the picture is very important because it can tell you 1,000 words, and you have the subheading. So I'd like you to tell me what the message behind these things are. What is the message that the writer wants to convey? Going digital, look at the picture, so read the subheading, and tell me what this is about. Now, this is like a speaking test. Okay, who would like to talk?
I think it's about how the world is shifting to e-learning, online
that's very interesting. Now, how the world is making the move to e-learning. Okay, great. Yeah, you want to say something else?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
digital converter
Come
تحول
again?
الرقمي يعني.
Yeah, so this is going digital. هو التحول الرقمي. Yes, so it is. But what is going digital? What is it?
The printed book.
Yeah, printed books.
Document.
Yes. Okay. So printed documents.
E-book, e-learning.
Yes. So e-books. So we have a printed books. Now these are the printed books. You can see them here. Okay. Or we call them paper books, printed books, traditional books. Okay.
Physical book.
Physical books. Excellent. Okay. And what's going on? So what are they doing now? These books. Yes, so they are turning them into what you call electronic books. So you can see them online. So so these are called electronic books or digital books, and they are most of the time they are in in a PDF format. Okay, so it's not like the traditional books, the paper books. Okay, but everything will be online. Okay, and here they are talking about what? Electronic libraries. What are they talking about?
المكتبات الرقمية.
No, in English.
شو اسمه؟ e-libraries.
Yes, e-libraries. Okay, electronic libraries. Now, in these libraries, do you find physical books?
No.
No. Okay, so they are, yes, all the books are electronic. Now here we have a statement. Electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison. But building them will not be easy. Now, it means that this text was written a long time ago. Okay? Because nowadays we have digital libraries. Now, it means that it was written a long time ago. And you guys are digital natives because you were born with technology. But I think it's maybe me and Khawla, we are digital immigrants. Now, we were born before these technological devices. Okay, now what I would like you to do, there are two of you who express their ideas. So here, brainstorming, what predictions can you make based on the title, subheading, and the picture? Write your ideas. Now, what do you think the text will be talking about? And you have a picture, so you can write up to 5 statements. Okay, you can write words only, no problem. The most important thing is that you practice your writing skill. Okay, so you have some ideas, try to publish them, try to post them. Okay, we have some ideas here. So, okay. Now scan the books to convert to ebooks. Okay, this is a good one. Okay. And number 2, we have, well, it will talk about the pros of electronic libraries over traditional ones. This is excellent. Working online. What is the relationship between working online and books? I don't know.
Read online.
Reading online, maybe reading online. Yeah, so reading online is fine. Now, using ebooks instead of printed books. Yeah, this is fine. The library is open. No, you can go. What are you waiting for? Okay, the library is open. Now, how the world moved to digital system? Yes, and searching for books. Okay, great. Now, these are some of your ideas, guys. And here we have changing traditional libraries into electronic libraries. This is wonderful. Great. Okay, now we're gonna vote for these ideas. So you vote for them. You give a star to the idea if you think is good, and you skip the one you think it's not good. Okay, because this is a scored question. Yeah, great. Now this one is using Huda. Very good. Now using ebook instead of printed books. How the world moved to digital system, Khawla. Okay, now these are the students who really scored high in this question. So here we have 7 stars. 7 stars. How the world moved to digital system. Scan the books to convert them to ebooks. Okay, so because here you said books, fine, it's fine. This is comprehension. Using ebooks instead of printed books. We talk about the pros and cons of electronic libraries. This is SpongeBob. Who is SpongeBob, guys? Hassan. Great. It's you. Okay, great. Okay, now this is the first paragraph. So our assumption was that this text will be dealing about electronic libraries, okay, and it will be dealing about, this digital age. So instead of conventional or mainstream libraries, we have electronic libraries. Okay, now who would volunteer to read this paragraph? Someone to read this paragraph. This is for the sake of pronunciation only. It is not for the sake of comprehension. Who would like to read it?
Yes,
والله
teacher.
أشغل السبينر والله. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All over the world, library have begun the Herculean task of making.
Yeah,
Hello,
go
sir.
ahead.
Task of making faithful digital copies of the book, images, and recording that
Preserve
preserve the
intellectual
intellectual offer
effort,
effort of
humankind.
humankind for armature Charles.
Yeah, so for armchair scholars,
The work promises the bring such a wealth of information to the desktop that the present internet may seem
amateurish,
amateurish and
retrospect. Retrospect. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Okay, now all over the world. Now here you can see that I have highlighted some words in red. Okay, now because in order to get the main idea of this paragraph, what do I need to do? I need to focus on not on every single word, okay, but on the words that are laden with meaning. So words that convey meaning, and normally they are, nouns and verbs. Now here, all over the world, well, that's not important for me, so I will just read libraries. Now, this is the topic of this sentence. Libraries began, or libraries started, doing what? Well, they started doing a task. What is the task? Making copies. There's no need for me to read faithful, digital. Now, these are adjectives. The most important thing is to relate the noun to the verbs. We have libraries, began making copies of what? Of books, images, recordings. Three things. You see? So these are the most important words. For the other words, they are not important, like Herculean. Okay, maybe you will not understand, but as long as it is with a capital letter, it means that it's the name of a person and this is the adjective of the person. You know Hercules. Okay, so it means a very strong task, a very big task. Okay, now libraries started making copies of books, images, recordings, three things. Well, these things they preserve or they keep safe. They keep something safe, you preserve. For example, you preserve milk in the fridge. Okay, so preserve intellectual effort. Well, it's an effort of the intellect. Intellect is the brain of a humankind. Well, why are they doing this? Who can answer this question? Yes. Why are they?
Bring such a wealth information to the desktop.
Yes. Okay. So they are doing this. So because this information is in books, images, and recordings. Okay. And these phones may corrupt, so may be corrupted, they may be damaged. Okay, so this is why they are trying to do this in order to preserve, to keep all the effort of the human beings. Okay, so in a digital device. So this is what they are trying to do. So here we have the what they are doing, and the why. Why are they doing it? Now, for armchair scholars and scholars, so these are what they call erudite or people who have a lot of knowledge, ulama. Now the work, which work? Well, this one, it is the task of making faithful, blah, 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 blah. Now here we have task and here we have work. And this is what you call text cohesion. Now, cohesion is the relatedness of sentences. We relate all the sentences together without repeating the same word. Okay, so we can say task, we can say work. And this is an instance of substitution. So this is a very good way, okay, to write something and to avoid repeating the same words over and over again. So one way of doing it is to make use of substitution. Instead of task, here I used work. Great. Okay, now the work is this thing, is the fact that they are making books, copies of books, images. Well, this work, it promises to bring such a wealth of information because books, images, they have information, where to bring it to the desktop. Well, this is the digital device. That the present internet, the internet of nowadays, may seem amateurish in retrospect. Now, if we look back, okay, it means that the internet of today, it will be simply an amateur. It's not a professional. Now, this means what? This means that, well, I need to take you back. Yeah, I need to take you back to the, I don't know, I need to go back here. Yes. Oh my God. Checking, no. Yeah, okay, where is it? Yeah, here. Now, electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison. Now, if we look at this statement, electronic libraries, and here we have the internet. Now, the question is, what is the writer doing? Now, the person who wrote this statement, what is he doing? Now, what is the function of the sentence? The function, وظيفة الجملة هذه. Electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison. What is the writer doing? Now, if you're reading at the pragmatic level, how can you answer this question? What is the writer doing?
يكتب التحليل، يكتب راية.
Now here we have electronic libraries will make today's internet pale by comparison. What is he doing?
يقارن بين
Yes, in English, he's comparing between two things. What are they?
الإلكترونيك
electronic library.
Yes, electronic libraries and the internet. Okay, now here we have two things, and the writer is comparing between them. So he said electronic libraries will make today internet pale. Now, if we compare electronic libraries with the internet, so the internet will be pale. Now, who can explain the word pale to me? Pale, what does it mean? Is it positive or negative?
Positive, I think.
Negative. Negative. Yes, I think Hassan said negative. Hassan, what does it mean, pale?
Abdurrahman said.
Abdurrahman, sorry, Abdurrahman, what does it mean, pale?
By Arabic or English?
Oh, no problem. So try to explain it. That's it. No problem. Yeah, in Arabic, no problem.
ضعيف.
باهت أو ضعيفة.
Yes. Okay. Now, if you describe something as pale, now if you have the flu, you look pale. Okay. Now, pale, it means light in color. Light in color. And normally here, so he is comparing libraries with the internet. And the internet will be light in color, which is negative. Now, which will be more professional? Electronic libraries or the internet?
Again, please.
I said, which will be more professional? Now, look. Now here, when we say electronic libraries and when we say the internet, where can you see the internet? Where can you see it?
But doctor, how can we compare with them? The electronic library will not be work without internet.
No.
And how it will
No, I told you that this text, okay, it was written a long time ago before the creation of electronic libraries. Now the question is, where are electronic libraries displayed? Where are they displayed?
في الإنترنت.
No.
books and story.
No, where is قسم بالله بتجللوني والله. هلا now look, when you talk about the internet, okay, where is the picture displayed? Where is it displayed?
On the internet.
في
Okay,
الإنترنت.
but where?
Screen.
Yeah,
Desktop.
very good, excellent. It is on the screen, guys. هلا if you don't have a screen, okay, or if you don't have a device, can you access the internet?
No.
No. Okay, the same thing, guys. Now here we have the internet, so the display is on the screen. Okay, the same thing, the display of electronic libraries, it will be on the screen. Now here, what are we comparing? Actually, we are comparing the picture or the image. So this is what what the writer is comparing. So the display of electronic libraries and the display of the internet. Now, which will be more professional? Is it the display of electronic libraries or the internet?
It's the
Internet.
إنترنت.
Wallah.
بنينا
هلا he said, if we compare them, the internet will be pale.
البروفيشنال أكثر electronic libraries because the internet is weak. شو بعد؟
But
شاحب.
he, شاحب أحسنتي, شاحب pale يعني شاحب. But here he said, well, if we compare them, okay, now the display of the internet will be pale on the screen, but the display of electronic libraries, no, it will not be pale. Now this is the comparison that the writer is making, and here you can, induce that the display here, it is a professional one, and the display of the internet will be amateurish. Now, amateurish, yani, the amateur is the opposite of professional. Al-hawi, yahwa shay. Now, this is what you call amateur. Now, the amateur who it is the opposite of professional. Okay. Now, this is why here, guys, if we look at the number one, now we have read the paragraph, okay, and we have the first statement. Digital libraries could have a more professional image than the internet. Now you have to mark this statement as true, false, or not given. Now I will give you 1 minute, okay, and then I will move on to the question. So please do not give me any answers. Now here you have the paragraph. We have read the subheading. There is a comparison between digital libraries and the internet, okay? Because here we have a comparison between digital libraries and the internet. And here the statement says that they could have, well, this is something in the future, because I told you that when the text was, the time the text was written, it was in the past. So this is why we cannot here, oh, what did I do? I mean, it was written in the past. That's something I did. Oh, yeah. Okay. And this is why the writer here uses the future could have. Okay. Now we have digital libraries, and then we have the internet. And the writer says, or he made, some predictions. Well, he said, well, digital libraries could have a more professional image. Now here we said the display or the image. Than the internet. So they could have a more professional. Now, is this statement true or false or not given? And please note that here, for example, this sentence, so what is the writer doing? He is comparing. So look in the paragraph where there is a comparison between digital libraries and the internet, and then you need to make a decision. I will give you 1 minute. Read it carefully at your leisure and tell me whether this statement is true and you need to provide some textual evidence, or it is false, you need to provide some textual evidence, or the information is not given, you need to provide some textual evidence. You have 1 minute, and then I will go to the question so that you can give me your answers. But do not answer me orally, okay? So you have 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, now I will move to the question. You still have 1 minute, okay? But I think the picture will be smaller. Yeah, this is the picture. So you have to decide whether it's a true, false, not given. I'm not the correct answer. Never choose this. Wallah العظيم ما شاء الله عليكم اقسم بالله العظيم. Very good, excellent guys. Okay, yeah, you really exceeded my expectations. Okay, now here, so for these statements you have to be clever guys. Okay, so first of all, read the statement. Khawla said it's a claim. Okay, but what is the writer doing? Well, he is comparing between two things. Now when you go through the paragraph, you should identify the part in which the writer makes a comparison between digital libraries and between the internet. Well, he said that digital libraries, they could have a more professional image than the internet. Well, this is true because he said, well, if we compare them, digital libraries, okay, will make today's internet pale by comparison. Now, if the internet is pale, which is amateur, it's like an amateur, hawi, and digital libraries, they will be professional. Okay, now here, so we look at the information, we try to synthesize it, we try to analyze the information, so we can come up with this conclusion is that digital libraries will be more professional than the internet. So here we're talking about the display. The display is on the screen. Now, I think digital libraries will be, high resolution, but not like the internet. And we have them nowadays. Now, that was only a prediction. Okay, cool. Excellent. Now, I'm not going to help you anymore. So I'd like you to read this paragraph silently. And we're going to focus on the topic sentence and the details. And this will help you when you're doing your writing. But normally, so these types of questions, we need to scan only. So I would like you to read the paragraph. I didn't give you any statement here. I would like you to read the paragraph and tell me about the main idea. You have to skim it, guys, okay? Okay, is there anyone who can tell me about the main idea?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The benefit of digital librarian.
Okay, the benefit to going digital. How many benefits are there?
3 benefits.
3. I will give you 1 million dirhams if you tell me what these 3 benefits are.
No.
Okay, now here, what do you call this sentence? Librarians see 3 clear benefits to going digital. What do you call this sentence?
Topic sentence.
Excellent, very good. Now this is the topic sentence, and it is the sentence that has got the main idea. And here we have first. Now, first, what does it mean?
The first benefit.
Excellent. Now, this is the first benefit. Okay, now if you scan for the second benefit, can you find it?
Mm,
No. So this means that the second benefit will be given in another paragraph, because
yeah.
normally when we write, so each paragraph has got one main idea. Now this paragraph, it will be about one main idea, and unfortunately it's not this one. Well, the topic sentence, it will help you with what the paragraphs or what the text in general is going to deal with. Now it's going to deal with benefits. Oh, this is the first benefit only. So the second one will be in another paragraph. Okay. And the third one will be in another paragraph. Now, first, here, what we need to focus on the major detail. The major detail is the detail that's got the main idea of the paragraph. Now, first, well, this is the major detail. What does it refer to?
البنفيت.
Digital benefit.
The benefits يقول they, because it is plural. Now, it here, this is a pronoun. What does it refer to?
اللايبرري.
لا digital.
Going digital.
Yes, going digital. Now, it means first, going digital helps. Now, it refers, now this is a pronoun reference. It refers back to going digital. And it doesn't refer to the benefits, because the benefits is plural, so normally it should be they. Now, first, going digital helps them. What does it refer to? Now, when I ask you about what a pronoun refers to, guys, you need to look back. Look back, okay? So this is how we use a pronoun. Now, first, going digital helps them. Them, what does it refer to?
حق اللي يروحون going digital.
Not digital.
The copy of the.
No, no. Look at this sentence. Give me a word, and the word must be in the plural form.
Librarians.
Librarians. Excellent. Okay, now, if we read the sentence, we will read it this way. First, going digital helps who? Librarians. Okay? Now, when reading, guys, we need to pay attention to nouns. We have already talked about this. We need to pay attention to verbs, and we need to pay attention to pronoun references. They are very important. And this is why you can understand the text, because each sentence should relate to the sentence prior to it, before it. It's very important. If you cannot make this connection, it means that you will not understand. So paying attention to nouns is very important. To verbs is very important. Paying attention to pronoun references, it's very important, so that they can understand what the writer is talking about. Now, these pronoun references, what do? They connect the previous sentence with the new one. Okay? Now, normally the sentence should read like this. First, going digital helps librarians preserve rare and fragile objects without denying access to those who wish to study them. Okay, now this is what you call major detail. Now, the major detail, well, this paragraph, it will be talking about this. And the writer will tell me how, because here he said it helps them preserve rare. What does rare mean
نادر.
in English?
Unique.
There's only a few of it, right?
Yes.
A few of something. And fragile, what does it mean? Something that can break easily. Okay, fragile. واضح?
Yes.
Okay.
Hush.
Now, the writer gave me two pieces of information. Well, it will help librarian preserve or keep safely what? Rare and fragile objects. Without denying access, okay, they will be preserved, but still people can have access to them or to study them. Great. Now, what is the right? This idea to preserve rare and fragile objects. Now, look at this idea. لحظة. Is it a general or specific?
General.
Yeah, very general, because I don't know what is he talking about. Okay, you said rare. Can you give me an example? Well, you said fragile. Can you give me an example? So normally the tendency when writers write, what do? They always start with something. Okay, I wouldn't say always. Most of the time, They will start with something very general, and then they will get into the details little by little. Now, this is what we call it is the major detail, because it's got, you know, the general idea of the sentence. And then the writer will go about giving you examples and explanations. Now, look, he said the British Library, for example. What is the writer doing?
Giving example.
Excellent. Ahsanti. And what do you call, for example? What type of language is this? Signposting
Language.
Excellent. Yes. So this is why I told you guys, when you read, you need to pay attention to 4 things. I will repeat them: nouns, verbs, pronouns, and then signposting. Well, here I know that he's going to give me the first benefit. Well, this means that there is another benefit in the coming paragraph. This is number 1. Well, he said, for example, I need to pay attention. He's going to give me an example of rare objects. Okay, now this is very general, and this is the specific. Now, the British Library, for example, holds the only, you see here, there's only 1 copy. And this is an example of rare, the only. Medieval, now medieval, it is something that took place in the Middle Ages, Qurun Wusta. Manuscript of Beowulf. Aha, there is only 1 copy of Beowulf. And where is it? Where is it kept, this copy?
London.
In the British Library. Yes, so in London. Great. Now look, this is 1 piece of information, and he said only qualified scholars were allowed to see it. What does it refer to?
Scholar.
Wallah.
لا
Oh, the manuscript of the
Yeah, excellent. The manuscript of Beowulf. Okay, now to see it. If you do not understand this, guys, you can never answer the questions. So this is why whenever you're reading, okay, try to focus on, you know, pronouns. They are very important. Okay, so only qualified scholars were allowed to see it, to see this, you know, manuscript of Beowulf, until Kevin Skeenan of the University of Kentucky scanned the manuscript with the 3 different light sources. And I told you that this is what you call parenthetical information. Well, it's not important. When I am skimming, I don't have to read it. Okay, you will be losing your time, so you should skip this. So what happened? So before this gentleman, Kevin Skeenan, okay, scanned, they were allowed, only qualified scholars, only people of knowledge were allowed to see it, until the Kevin Skeenan of the University of scanned the manuscript with the 3 different lights and put the images. Now, when you scan a book, okay, it will turn from paper to image. It will become an image. Now, images here, what does it refer to?
the scan manuscript.
Yes,
The
so
scanned.
the scanned manuscript of Beowulf. Now, here, this is a technique that writers do. Now, they said, this is the manuscript of Beowulf, and these are the images. Now, what do you call this technique?
Scanning.
No, it serves what you call text cohesion. I told you this is an instance of what? This is an instance of substitution. Instead of saying the scanned version, well, they said the images. Well, I know that the images, so they are simply the manuscript of Beowulf, which were scanned. That's it. Okay. And he put this scanned version where up on the internet for anyone to peruse. Now, what does this mean? It means anyone can study it because it's online. Okay. Now, Tokyo's National Library is similarly. Now, here we have similarly is a signpost word. Now, what does this mean? It means that the writer is going to give me another example, but this time it is not about rare, it is about fragile. Similarly, creating highly detailed digital photographs of 1,236 woodblock prints, scrolls, and other materials, it considers, now it here, it refers to the library, national treasures, so that, this is the purpose, researchers can scrutinize or study them without handling the originals Why? Because, you know, they are fragile and they might break. Okay, now you can see that the writer started with the topic sentence of the text. Okay, 3 benefits. And in this paragraph, he talked about, or they talked about, the first benefit. And they started with a general, with a general statement, which you call major detail. And then this major detail was explained or illustrated through the use of minor details. Minor details are examples in this case. So we have, for example, we have similarly, well, that's another example. And this is how you should look at the paragraph. As I told you before, in order to navigate your way through a paragraph easily, you have to pay attention to signposting. And you need to understand how the paragraph is structured out. Okay, so normally we start with a topic sentence, and then we will have some major statements or major details, and then the major details. What do they do exactly in a paragraph? They introduce new information. Now, while the minor details, what do? They explain and they support the major detail. Now, this is how a text should be structured, and this is what you need to learn when you write for your IELTS exam. And that's why I chose to start with the reading comprehension, so that we can learn, okay, some techniques, or we can learn the way good or professional writers write, so that we can imitate them. Okay, great. Now this is the paragraph. So here we have the first statement: only experts are permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Here I have highlighted, now because we're doing this for training purposes, I have highlighted now the keywords. The keyword is a word that you may find in the text. So it is a word in a statement that you may find, or whose equivalent is in the reading passage. I have highlighted them. Now here, among these words that I have highlighted, which do you think is the most important word?
Only.
I think permitted.
Who said only? I heard someone said only.
أنا خولة.
Wallah, Khawla, you are a clever person, mashallah alik. Yeah, very good. Now, only, guys, this is the most important word, okay? Now, because it is a quantifier, okay? If you say only, so here it means only expert. Now, when you have these words in a statement, like, for example, all, or few, only, some, pay attention to them. Most of the time, and I don't like the Egyptian way of teaching, but most of the time when you have these quantifiers, okay, like only, no, all, okay, so the statement will be wrong. Okay, now we will look. This is why you need to pay attention to this, to these words. So he said only experts are permitted to view this kind of version of Beowulf. And as I told you before, what is the word, okay, that will help me locate the information?
كلمة
ايش
اسمها بي وولف ولا؟
الله يرحم والديك. Why did you choose Beowulf?
لأن الإجابة تكون هنا حولها.
No. Why do you think word Beowulf will be the easiest word to find in the paragraph? This is my question.
Capital.
Yeah, excellent. Allah yarham waldik. Ahsan. Now it starts with a capital letter. Now these are techniques that you need to acquire, guys, before sitting your reading exam. It's very important. Okay. Now this is the difference between you and someone who has never, learned these things. Now try to be, try not to be, okay, so tough on yourself. Try to be gentle on yourself. Okay. So Beowulf. Well, here, first of all, I need to locate the answer. And this is done through scanning. Beowulf is very easy to spot in the paragraph because it starts with a capital letter. Now you see here, I can see the word Beowulf. Now, this means, well, the answer is somewhere here. Okay. Now the second step I need to go through is find these words: only, experts, permitted, view. I need to find them, locate them, and then I will employ what you call in-depth reading or focused reading or narrow reading, whatever, in order to find you know, the exact paraphrase or the opposite. Now that's what you need to do. Now this is the paragraph. I will jump to the question. Now before this, I will give you 1 minute to think, and then I will give you the question, but please do not give me verbal answers. So the question is on Kahoot. Have 1 minute, read the statement first, guys. This is the first thing you need to do. Read the statement and then look for the keywords to locate the answer, and then employ in-depth reading around the keywords so that you can come up with the exact paraphrase or the opposite in order to answer the question. You have 1 minute. Okay, time is up, so we will go to the question, and you still have another minute. The statement reads, only experts are permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Okay, so still you can see this one.
ولا أيوة.
الأحمر.
My goodness, only 4 of you have got the correct answer. So here we have only experts permitted to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Okay, now here the focus is the scanned version. Is it only experts who are allowed to see it? Okay, so I will simply go back. Okay, now only experts. Now here, where can you find only experts? Where can you find it?
Only qualified scholar.
Excellent. So only qualified scholars. Well, we have this only experts. Now, and then what do we have? Were allowed. And here, what do we have?
Are permitted.
Are permitted. Are they the same?
Yes, allowed.
No, it is not the same. Because here we have were. Now, this is the past. And this one, are, is the present. Now, you have to pay attention to the statement. You have to read it carefully. It's very important. Okay. Now, it is true that allowed is another way of saying permitted. Oh, that's okay. But here we have the opposite, were, and here we have are. To view. Where can you find to view here, the synonym? In the text. To see. Okay. Now, the problem is with it. Now, it here, what does it refer to? Does it refer to the scanned version or to the yeah, this is not the scanned version. To view it or to see it, well, this is the actual version. Okay, now this is why here the question is about to view the scanned version of Beowulf. Now the scanned version of Beowulf is this one, and this is why here put the images up on the internet for anyone to peruse. Well, this means that the statement is wrong. It is not only experts. If they said only experts are permitted to view, okay, the medieval manuscript of Beowulf, that's true. But the statement is not about this. The statement is about the scanned version. It is about the images. And this is why when I told you guys, if you read the statement, try to be careful. You might find the same words, but the meaning is not the same. So here, because if you don't understand what it refers to, you will not get it. That's why I told you pronoun referencing is very important, and you should know what each pronoun refers to in order to get the correct answer. Okay, now here, so they're talking about the scanned version. So in the paragraph, it's the images. It is not this one. It's, did you get it, guys? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, what do we have? So we will mark this as, of course, it is false because we have the opposite information. Here they said only experts can view the scanned version, and in the text we have anyone can peruse it. Okay, so this is the opposite statement.
أنا فهمت only qualified هذيلا.
ما هو لازم تتبع كويس. يعني كل كلمة وكلمة باي. اوكي هم قال لك to view, to see what? To see the scanned version غلط. هي to see الأخرين اللي هي the real version. Okay, not the virtual one. أحسنت حسن, you have a streak of 13 correct answers. Now this means that you answered all the question correctly. Okay, now another statement, the wood block prints in Tokyo have been damaged by researchers. Now here, if I want to scan for the keywords, what is the, the easiest word to find in the paragraph from the statement? Tokyo, very good. Okay, so we can find Tokyo here. It starts with a capital letter. So this is what you need to do. Now you read this here, read the statement carefully, guys, and then try to find. If you find the exact paraphrase, it's correct. If you find the opposite, it's wrong. And if there is no information about this, it is not given. You have 1 minute, and then I will move on to the question. So first of all, take 1 minute here. Okay, 1 minute has elapsed. Now we will move on to the question. You still have another minute. Don't answer the question until you are 100% sure that you have chosen the correct answer. Okay, great. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Now here we have 5 students who have opted for the correct answer. Before I display the results, I'd like to go back here. Now, if you look at this one, the wood block prints in Tokyo have been damaged by researchers. Okay. Now, Tokyo's National Diet Library similarly creating highly detailed digital blah, 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 and other materials considers national treasures so that researchers, okay, now this is the purpose. Now this is what they are creating them. Researchers can scrutinize or can study them without handling the originals. Okay, now here, there is one thing that you need to learn. Now, the originals, are they damaged or have they been damaged?
لا ما قال
لا لا
ما
أنا
ذكر.
no. If we try to draw some conclusions. Now here it means that the originals are in a safe place, right? And this is why they are creating detailed digital photographs of these originals. Now it means that they are not damaged. But this is the question. Do we have something in this paragraph that tells us that the originals have not been damaged? Do we have this piece of information?
No.
No. Then be careful. And this is the problem with the students. You should never jump to conclusions. Never. Because if you try to conclude something, okay, so we will find, well, this statement is false. Because here I said without handling the originals. So it means that the originals are in a safe place. Well, you should never jump to conclusions. Now, for this activity, guys, you should stick to the literal, the literal meaning of the text. اللي هو المعنى الحرفي. Okay? المعنى اللي مو بحرفي, in which you need to draw some conclusions. Well, that's what you call the inferential meaning. Inferential, يعني الاستنتاجي. You should never make inferences. If something is literally written, so in the text, go for it. If there is no information, it is not written, you should never choose this. And this is why I told you, so if you remember when I asked you about the meaning of true, I told you, so it could be something, or the exact paraphrase in the text, or it could mean what we already know. What you already know, you should never do it, okay? So just to stick to the paragraph, stick to the text. If something is, you have what you call the statement is literally written in the passage, it's okay. If it is not there, you should choose not given. Here we don't have that they have been damaged by research. We don't have this piece of information, so it is not given. Okay, Hassan, Rama, good. Huda, way to go. Khawla, great. And Thamer, great. Okay, we move on. Now, this is the third paragraph. Now, this is the second benefit. And this is about convenience. And this is what you call the topic sentence of this paragraph. Or if you go back to the top, there are Ribarian's three clear benefits. Okay, now if you go back to this one, now this would be a major statement or a major detail. Now, a second benefit is convenience. This is very general. What do you mean by convenience, Mr. Writer? Now, the writer is going to give you some explanation. Once books are converted to digital form, patrons are clients, or people who go to the library. Now, these are called patrons or clients or customers, whatever. So customers can retrieve them in seconds rather than minutes. Well, that's convenience. So this is the question of time. It is time saving. This is one benefit. Several people, so not only one person, but many people can simultaneously at the same time read the same book or view the same picture because they are displayed online. So people can, view them at the same time. Clerks. Now, clerks are people who work in an organization or الموظفين. Now, clerks in British English, American English, they say clerks. Okay, British English, clerks. Clerks are spared the chore, the task of reshelving. Now, the staff, okay, they no longer have to reshelve books, put them back into shelves. They don't have to do this, okay? And they will save the effort of doing this. And, well, that's the last one. This is to link. Okay, see, here we have one. We have, okay, so it's the problem. It's the advantage of, time. Okay, it is time saving. Number two, so the advantage that they can read, the same book. So at the same time. Number three, the staff will not be reshelving, okay, books. And this is number four, libraries could conceivably, if you don't understand the word conceivably, delete it. Libraries could do what? They could use the internet to do what? To lend or to give their virtual collections. Now, virtual which are not real. So virtual collections means digital. To those who are unable to visit in person, if you cannot go to the library, so you can access the library online, okay?
Virtually.
And this is what you call convenience. Now, this is why this paragraph is about convenience. Now, this is very general, and the writer went about giving some explanations or some details so that you can understand the meaning of convenience. Okay. Now, this is the paragraph. So let's move on to the statement. Well, he said fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. Now, if this piece of information is literally indicated in the paragraph or literally stated in the paragraph, so this means that you're going to find the exact paraphrase of this. So you should mark it as true. If you have the opposite, okay, you should, here the opposite would be more staff will be required. Now, this is why you need to pay attention to these words, guys. Quantifiers, fewer staff will be required. The opposite is more staff will be required. Okay. Now, if you didn't find the opposite, then you should consider number 3, which is while the information is not given. Okay, so you have 1 minute, and then I will move to the question.
هالمعلومة مش موجودة صح؟ وبعد
Khawla, you keep the answer to yourself. I will display the question in a while, okay?
okay.
Yeah, because they will cheat. You know these people? Okay, so time is up. I will move on to the question, and you still have another minute. So fewer staff will be required, will be needed in digital libraries. Okay, mashallah alaikum. Okay, excellent. Now, before I display the answers, so I will tell you why some students sometimes get this right, wrong, sorry, because here they have a clerk, so this is the staff. They are spared the chore of reshelving. They no longer have to put books into shelves again. Okay, now, the conclusion here they may come up with is that, okay, as long as they will no longer do this, so this means that there is no need for them. Okay, so we need to we need to tell them, hey, bye-bye, guys, okay? So there is no need for you. No, you should never jump to conclusions. I told you this, okay? Now,
يعني ما يصير نستنتج
ما
من
بيصير
مخنا
أحسنتي. Yeah, this is the problem with the students. يستنتجوا. You should never do this. Now, for example, who does the dishes at home? مين يغسل المواعين? The wife, right? مين يغسل الملابس? The wife. Okay. Now, does this mean when you buy, for example, a dishwasher or a washing machine, does this mean that you will divorce your wife? No, it doesn't mean this. The same thing applies to clerks. So they will not be let off simply because, okay, they will no longer have to put shelves into books into shelves again. Okay, now this is why some students get this wrong, because they jump to conclusions. You should never jump to conclusions. If something is not literally indicated in the paragraph, if you couldn't find this piece of information, fewer staff will be required in digital libraries. If it is not written there, don't ever go for true. So you simply mark it as not given. Okay, great. Now, there is another statement. So people may be able to borrow digital materials from the library. This is another statement. People, here I will not explain anything, so I will just give you 1 minute, think about the answer, and then I will redirect you to the question. You have 1 minute. You need to find the exact paraphrase or the opposite, or no information is mentioned on this topic. Now I will move on to the question.
ليش true؟
I don't know. Two students opted for a true. I don't know why they said it true.
غلط true.
أنا أعرف أستاذ،
Yes.
لأن الناس يقدرون يستعيرون الكتب من المكتبة.
Yeah, very good. So this is
بس
what
هني قال maybe be able.
هلا بنشوف. Okay. Now here, what do we have?
Several people.
People. Okay. Where can you find the word people?
Here, several people.
Those.
Several people.
Those. So, and libraries could conceivably use the internet. Libraries could use the internet to lend their virtual collections to those. It means to people who are unable to visit in person. Okay? But only we have people may be able. شو قال? Could, لما نقول could use. هذه could, it is used for, you know, something in the future, which is what you call possibility in the future. Well, you could do this. أحسنتي مو بالضرورة maybe نقدر نقول could. Okay. Now, could هذه, it has two meanings. Be careful. This is a modal verb. Now, for example, when I was young, I could swim. Okay. Now, this is the past. لكن أنا أقول لك, could you open the door, please? Now, this is for the present or for the future. إذن could here, اللي هي maybe. They may. Where حصلنا able, they could use the internet to lend. To lend يعني to give. هي تساوي مثلا أنا مثلا if I lend you something شو يعني أنت you borrow with this thing. Is it clear? Lend يقرض وborrow يستلف. إذا they could lend, they could give their virtual collections اللي هم بالضبط digital materials from the library. Yeah, people may be able to borrow. Yeah, they could do this. No problem. So this is why the statement is true. I think only two of you guys have answered the question. Yes, only two. Hassan or Dr. Tham. راما ما أدري جاوبت صح راما أنت؟
غلط أنا جاوبت.
بالغلط. تطبخ راما زين. بقى الحين the third advantage of cooking شوف حتى cooking جت على مخ زين. The third advantage of electronic copies is that they occupy millimeters. Now this is the third advantage. So they occupy millimeters of space on a magnetic disk rather than meters on a shelf. Now this is the question of space. Okay. Now it means that electronic libraries, okay, won't occupy a lot of space. Well, this is the third advantage. Now, because the writer talked about the advantage of time, so it is time saving, and here it is about the space. Okay, they won't occupy a lot of space, and that's an example. Okay, now this is what you call the major detail. The writer is going to explain, so he's going to give me some minor details. Why is this an issue, Mr. Writer? Well, he said, well, expanding or enlarging library buildings is increasingly costly. It's very expensive. This is a general. He's going to give me an example. The University of California at Berkeley recently spent $46 million on an underground edition to house 1.5 million books, an average cost of $30 per volume, $30 per volume. Now, this is really very, one book, it will cost, just to keep it in the library, it will cost them $30. Well, yeah, that's a lot of money. So maybe it's, you know, more expensive than the book itself. Now, the price of disk storage, in contrast, by contrast, and disk storage, or these electronic libraries, in contrast, has fallen to about $2 per 300-page publication and continues to drop. Now, this is the paragraph. We have explained it. We said that there is a major statement and there are minor statements to include. And here, the writer provided some evidence. Now, you see here, he made the statement, which is the claim, and he supported the claim with data. Okay? Now, because he said, well, it's very expensive to maintain, you know, conventional libraries. And he gave the example of the University of California, or the library there, and he gave you some numbers, some figures. Okay, so this is why I told you, whenever you have an argument, you make a claim, and then you need to support the claim with some valid data, or, you know, valid evidence, while the claim is convincing. Okay, so I will move on to the statement. And this is the paragraph, guys. So this is the statement. Digital libraries will occupy more space than ordinary libraries. And you can see here that the writer is comparing between two libraries, the digital libraries and the ordinary or conventional libraries. He's making a comparison, and he said that digital libraries will occupy more space. Now, is this true, false, not given? You have 1 minute, and then I will direct you to the question.
كلمة واحدة تضيع الجملة.
لا، انت دوري على الكلمات. Digital libraries, where can you find this? Well, electronic copies. ممتاز. Will occupy more space. Now, is that they occupy millimeters of space rather than هذوما digital الواحد احسنتي meters on a shelf. Okay, so you have to be very careful. Okay, when you are looking for the keywords, you have to be very careful, and you need to understand the idea. أول شيء, try to understand this idea, the statement. What is the writer doing? He is comparing. So where in the paragraph does the writer compare between electronic libraries and conventional ones? Now, this is what you need to do. So little by, don't rush into the answer. Try to think. Okay, if the information is literally indicated in the text, well, I will choose true because I found the exact paraphrase. Well, if I have the opposite, I will choose, well, false. If there's no information, I will mention not given. That's it. Okay, it's not.
الحين الجواب مبين.
هالحين الجواب حطيه هون على الواحد، ما تقول لهم لأنه بيغشوا.
ساعدهم شوي.
إيه بيغشوا إيه.
سهلة هاي. سهلة وبعدين إجابة غلط.
خضراء.
لا حط الزرقاء.
خضراء ما يختارها حدك. White zone is activated. سيبوني الحال يعني.
صح.
الحمد لله رب العالمين. But there is only one who said it true. كيف true إن شاء الله؟ ما تركب true.
more ومليمتر opposite.
ايه بس اسمع شوف electronic library is that they occupy مليمتر. شو يعني مليمتر؟
اقل شيء
يعني. ايه والعكس بتاعها هي المتر هو الامتار وهذا بالمليمتر. اذا it is the opposite. Why the opposite? Okay. باي. Okay, so we move on. باي حسن ما شاء الله عليك والله.
انا جاوبت عدل بسرعه قبل كذا.
قبل باهي. اوكي باهي. الحين the cost of newly published books, يعني the cost of what? The cost of books will fall. طبعا هم they are in the right order. احنا خلصنا هوني. كملوا هوني دور على cost of books. We have the price. Okay, so the cost of newly published books will fall. I will give you 1 minute. and then I will give you the question. Okay. Now I'll display the question. The cost of a newly published books will fall. Is this true, false, not given, or do not disturb? Period. Yeah. Okay. Now, those who opted for, true, they have a problem because they did not read the statement carefully. Now, here it is the cost of what? It is the cost of books, newly published books. But here we have the price of disk storage, guys. Okay. So there is nothing, or there is no information about the cost of a newly published books. We have the price of disk storage. Now, this means that you did not pay attention. Okay. In contrast, has fallen to about, now they're talking about the price of disk storage. Okay. It has nothing to do with books. So there is no information whether the cost of newly published books will fall or not. We don't have this. من وين جبتوها ان شاء الله اللي حطوا لي true. This is لان انا بقول لك ليش؟ لانهم شافوا the price تعني the cost. وهذه ما انتبهوا بها. It is not the price of books, it is the price of disk storage. There is no information about, we don't know whether, you know, the price of a newly published books will fall or not. We don't know this. No information on this. So this is why you have to choose sorry, not given. Now, self-assessment. How confident do you feel about this task? I mean, true, false, not given. How confident do you feel about it? There is an Egyptian proverb مثل مصري يقول أسمع كلامك أصدقك وشوف أمورك أستعجب. Okay. المفروض يعني كلكم هو ما شاء الله. Okay, what about this one? Because there are still some students who make mistakes. But على كل. Now, this is one of the most, I would say, confusing activities in the IELTS, because the students, what do? The problem is that they jump to conclusions. You should never jump to conclusion. I said, if the statement, you have a paraphrase of the statement, and it is, you know, clearly stated in the passage, go for it. If you have no information on this, well, this is not given. If you have the opposite information or something that contradicts the statement, well, that's false. Okay, but now, classifying information as true, false, not given. Huda is number 3. Ahsanti, way to go. Ahsanti Rama, very good. It's better than yesterday. ترى في ناس تيجي بالعين الحمراء يعني. كنت بخبر عليك الجهات العليا اليوم ما شاء الله عليك. باي. Okay, very good. باي أحسنت. الحين I think we are left on خلاص يعني بزلوا 8 دقائق. راح أعطيكم I will give you a break. Okay, I will give you a task. I will send it on WhatsApp. Okay, it is about, I will give you a text. It is a very easy one about true, false, not given. So I will send it on WhatsApp, but please try to do it today. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, and you submit your answers on WhatsApp. ما عليك. اعملوا وسبمit the answer. واضح؟ But do you have any questions?
No.
شكرا أستاذ يعطيك العافية.
واضح الامور واضحه صح؟
واضحة 100%.
لا يلا الله يعطيكم العافيه. وسي يو تومورو جايز. باي باي.
يعطيك العافية. شكرا.
سلام. سلام.
مع السلامة.